It's a beautiful day, man.
They got pulled over, an undercover cop in a dark green Nova. Cat got beat for resisting arrest. Sucked the pig in the head for ripping his gas. Now G is caught for doing the crime. Fourth offense on the boy, he'll do some time. Cause the boys in the hood are always hard. You come talking that trash, we'll pull your car. Knowing nothing in life but to be legit. Don't pull me, boy, cause I ain't said
that song, every time I hear it, it's gonna watch straight on the counter. There's songs like that just make you want to watch a movie, right? Like, it was a good day. I'm gonna think that movie, that song is in Friday, but makes me want to watch Friday. And happy hump day to you, G. I'm stepping in. It's GM 107.5.
I wrote you a symphony just to say how much you mean to me. Would you, if I told you you were beautiful?
I can't even speak now for some reason. Shit.
This answer is quoted from memory, but it substantially relates Ford's answer. There was silence in the court. The questioning attorney's jaw dropped down, his eyes opened wide. The judge leaned forward from the bench and stared at Ford. Many of the jury awoke and looked around as if they had heard an explosion, which they actually had. A prominent clergyman who was present in the courtroom at the time said later that the scene reminded him of that which must have existed when Jesus Christ was on trial before Pontius Pilate, just after he had given his famous reply to Pilate's question, "What is truth?" In the vernacular of the day, Ford's reply knocked the questioner cold. Up to the time of that reply, the lawyer had been enjoying considerable fun at what he believed to be Ford's expense by adroitly displaying his general knowledge and comparing it with what he inferred to be Ford's ignorance as to many events and subjects. That answer spoiled the lawyer's fun. It also proved once more to all who had the intelligence to accept the proof that true education means mind development, not merely the gathering and classifying of knowledge. Ford could not, in all probability, have named the capitals of all the states of the United States, but he could have, and in fact had, gathered the capital with which to turn many wheels within every state in the Union. Education, let us not forget this, consists of the power with which to get everything one needs when he needs it, without violating the rights of others. Ford comes well within that definition, as the foregoing incident shows.
As the example of Henry Ford demonstrates, power is organized knowledge, expressed through intelligent efforts. Let us consider how a mastermind facilitates the exercise of power. The current era has been called the information age, due in large part to the ease with which information is transferred through computers and modems at speeds and in such volume that were unthinkable even a generation ago. But information is not organized knowledge. In fact, one of the chief complaints of many people is that they have far more information at their disposal than they know what to do with. A few minutes surfing the internet in search of the answer to a particular question can produce a deluge of conflicting, ambiguous information that does nothing to increase one's knowledge. Thousands of facts may have been gathered, but an understanding of those facts, including which are significant and which are not, is necessary before they can be considered knowledge. Even such knowledge is not power. It is only potential power, the material out of which real power may be developed. The key to unlocking all this potential power is properly organized effort. Suppose you had collected the name and address of every CEO of a Fortune 500 company. Having this information represents a potential power, the ability to contact these men and women. Such power might or might not be useful to you. If you were attempting to sell a small starter home in need of much repair, you would be targeting a very unlikely group of buyers. If, on the other hand, you were selling a luxurious estate with state-of-the-art security and communications capability, this group of people would likely be more interested. Clearly, the knowledge you acquire must be suited to your task. If you were indeed selling such an estate and you never attempted to contact these CEOs, however, you would not be exercising the potential power of your knowledge, simply because you made no effort. If you sent each of them a box of chocolates and some balloons with a handwritten note about your property, you would make an effort, but it would not be appropriate. However, if you printed a handsome brochure featuring photographs of the estate and outlining all its unique qualities, you would be applying your knowledge much more usefully, giving you the power to attract the attention of your potential buyers. So far, the selling of this estate has involved at least 3 separate tasks. First, the collection of the names of the business. Second, the creation of an appropriate selling tool. And third, its distribution to your potential buyers. Supposing you interested some of these people, you would also need someone to show the product and eventually to negotiate the terms of the deal. This means at least 5 different tasks, all requiring different kinds of knowledge. You could work to educate yourself for each of these jobs, or you could create a mastermind. You could begin enlisting a direct mail specialist to collect the list of names. That person could also contribute ideas for the brochure, which would be designed by a graphic artist familiar with all the necessary steps for production. You would handle showing the estate and selling it to your prospective buyers, and the fine points of the deal could be hammered out by an attorney. You would all be united behind a common purpose, dedicating your special skills to the task of making the sale. But who would have been truly responsible for making the sale happen? You. For it was you who assembled the team that got the job done.
The uses of learning. There are many learned people who could easily entangle Ford, theoretically, with a maze of questions, none of which he personally could answer. But Ford could turn right around and wage a battle in industry or finance that would exterminate those same men with all of their knowledge and all of their wisdom. Ford could not go into his chemical laboratory and separate water into its component atoms of hydrogen and oxygen and then recombine these atoms in their former order, but he knows how to surround himself with chemists who can do this for him if he wants it done. The person who can intelligently use the knowledge possessed by another is as much or more a person of education as the one who merely has the knowledge but does not know what to do with it. The president of a well-known college inherited a large tract of very poor land. This land had no timber of commercial value, no minerals, or other valuable appurtenances. Therefore, it was nothing but a source of expense to him, for he had to pay taxes on it. The state built a highway through the land. An uneducated man who was driving his automobile over this road observed that this poor land was on top of a mountain that commanded a wonderful view for many miles in all directions. He, the ignorant one, also observed that the land was covered with a growth of small pines and other saplings. He bought 50 acres of the land for $10 each. Near the public highway, he built a unique log house to which he attached a large dining room. Near the house, he put in a gasoline filling station. He built a dozen single-room log houses along the road. These he rented out to tourists at $3 a night each. The dining room, gasoline filling station, and log houses brought him a net income of $15,000 the first year. The next year, he extended his plan by adding 50 more log houses of 3 rooms each, which he now rents out as summer country homes to people in a nearby city at a rental of $150 each for the season. The building material cost him nothing, for it grew on his land in abundance, that same land which the college president believed to be worthless. Moreover, the unique and unusual appearance of the log bungalows served as an advertisement of the plan, whereas many would have considered it a real calamity had they been compelled to build out of such crude materials. Less than 5 miles from the location of these log houses, this same man purchased an old, worked-out farm of 150 acres for $25 an acre, a price which the seller believed to be extremely high. By building a dam 100 feet in length, the purchaser of this old farm turned a stream of water into a lake that covered 15 acres of the land, stocked the lake with fish, then sold the farm off in building lots to people who wanted summering places around the lake. The total profit realized from this simple transaction was more than $25,000, and the time required for its consummation was 1 summer. Yet this man of vision and imagination was not educated in the orthodox meaning of that term. Let us keep in mind the fact that it is through these simple illustrations of the use of organized knowledge that one may become educated and powerful. In speaking of the transaction here related, the college president who sold the 50 acres of worthless land for $500 said, "Just think of it. That man, whom most of us might call ignorant, mixed his ignorance with 50 acres of worthless land and made the combination yield more yearly than I earned from 5 years of application of so-called education." There is an opportunity, if not scores of them, in every state in America to make use of the idea here described. From now on, make it your business to study the lay of all land you see that is similar to that described in this lesson, and you may find a suitable place for developing a similar money-making enterprise. The automobile has caused a great system of public highways to be built throughout the United States. On practically every one of these highways, there is a suitable spot for a cabin city for tourists which can be turned into a regular money-making unit for the person with the imagination and self-confidence to do it.
If you think that Hill's example of starting what we now know as a motel is out of date and no longer applicable, you are not hearing the ideas, but the words. As this edition is being edited, Hill's advice is almost 75 years old. Yet one of the most exciting new business ventures of this era might well have been inspired by that out-of-date story. Jeff Bezos did exactly what Hill suggested. He looked for a highway on which to set up a business. When he found the right place, he opened a bookstore. The highway that Bezos found was the information highway, and the bookstore was Amazon.com. Sometimes the innovation requires specialized education or technical expertise, but just as often the business itself is not especially new. The innovation is in finding the right highway. Laura Brody is another example of someone whose inspiration made her greater than the so-called experts. The author of several cookbooks, she noticed that many people were buying and enjoying the bread machines that had lately become so popular, but she also noticed that they were not fully satisfied with the bread they were making. Her first right move was to write a new cookbook for bread machines, which was an instant success. Then, she took her good idea even further. Huge corporations were manufacturing these machines. Other huge corporations were making mixes to use in them. But Brody alone realized that these appliances were different enough from traditional techniques that the old methods weren't enough. What bread machine bakers needed were additives, simple, natural ingredients that professional bakeries used all the time. So she created a line of filling utensils that could be added to any bread machine recipe, creating a better, more tasty loaf. Soon, her bread machine magic was in grocery stores and cooks' catalogs around the country, making home bakers happier and Brody a wealthy and popular entrepreneur. The experts who had been involved in creating these machines at the flour companies that thought to profit from their popularity had on the right path a tremendous opportunity that one woman who organized her knowledge profited from it. In the mid-1970s, computers were used by big businesses. They were giant, complicated machines, too expensive for anyone else to afford. Or such was the conventional wisdom at companies like IBM. Steve Jobs and Stephen Wozniak thought differently. In a garage in California, they built a small computer that could fit on a desktop. The company they founded was called Apple. The Apple computer created a revolution in the computer industry and made multi-millionaires of Jobs and Wozniak because they organized their knowledge in a way that no one had before. Ray Kroc saw that people wanted fast food, and he created McDonald's. Frederick W. Smith saw that people wanted safe, reliable delivery, and created FedEx. Bill Bowerman saw people jogging, and created Nike to make the shoes for the new fad. There are similar opportunities everywhere, in every walk of life, in every area of human endeavor to achieve success. This course was designed to help you see these opportunities and to inform you how to make the most of them after you discover them. What it cannot do is give you the benefit of real education, of creating an understanding based on your own efforts. You must resolve to take the ideas that you absorb here and apply them in all your efforts. As this course proceeds, you will learn more about the mastermind as well as all the other significant principles you must apply. You will begin to see how they all fit together into a harmonious whole, a matter of acting and thinking that takes best advantage of the way the world operates. But only through applying each of these principles will you truly understand how to integrate them. Remember, your own actions will educate you in the law of success. There are opportunities to make money all around you. This course was designed to help you see these opportunities and to inform you how to make the most of them after you discover them.
Who can profit most by the law of success philosophy? Transportation officials who want a better spirit of cooperation between their employees and the public they serve. Salaried people who wish to increase their earning power and market their services to better advantage. Salespeople who wish to become masters in their chosen field. The law of success philosophy covers every known law of selling and includes many features not included in any other course. Industrial plant managers who understand the value of greater harmony among their employees. Employees who wish to establish records of efficiency that will lead to more responsible positions with greater pay. Merchants who wish to extend their business by adding new customers. The law of success philosophy will help any merchant increase business by teaching how to make a walking advertisement of every customer who comes into the store. Sales agents or managers who wish to increase the selling power of their sales force. A large part of the law of success course was developed from the life working experience of the greatest automobile salesman, and it is therefore of unusual help to the sales manager who is directing the efforts of the sales force. Life insurance agents who wish to add new policy holders and increase the insurance on present policy holders. One life insurance salesman in Ohio sold a $50,000 policy to one of the officials of the Central Steel Company as the result of the one week of the lesser and profited by failures. This same salesman has become one of the starring of the New York Life Insurance Company's staff as the result of his training over 17 years of success. School teachers who wish to advance to the top in their present occupation or who are looking for an opportunity to enter the field of business as a life work. Students, both college and high school, who are undecided as to what field of endeavor they wish to enter as a life work. The Law of Success course covers a complete personal analysis service that helps the student of the philosophy to determine the work for which he or she is best fitted. Bankers who wish to extend their business through better and more courteous methods of serving their clients. Mid-level managers who are ambitious to prepare themselves for executive positions in the field of banking or in some commercial or industrial field. Physicians and dentists who wish to extend their practice without violating the ethics of their profession by direct advertising. A prominent physician has said that the Law of Success course is worth $1,000 to any professional man or woman whose professional ethics prevent direct advertising. Entrepreneurs and promoters who wish to develop new and heretofore unworked combinations in business or industry. The principle described in this introductory lesson is said to have made a small fortune for a man who used it as the basis of a real estate promotion. Real estate agents who wish new methods for promoting sales. This introductory lesson contains a description of an entirely new real estate promotion plan which is sure to make fortunes for many who will put it to use. This plan may be put into operation in practically every state. Moreover, it may be employed by agents who never promote the enterprise. Farmers who wish to discover new methods of marketing their products so as to give them greater net returns, and those who own lands suitable for subdivision promotion under the plan referred to at the end of this introductory lesson. Many farmers have gold mines in the land they own, which is not suitable for cultivation, which could be used for recreation and resort purposes on a highly profitable basis. Entry-level service workers who are looking for a practical plan to promote themselves into higher and better-paying positions. The Law of Success course is said to be the best course ever written on the subject of marketing personal services. Printers who want a larger volume of business and more efficient production as the result of better cooperation among their own employees. Laborers who have the ambition to advance into more responsible positions in work that has